Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be taking a look into your severe weather potential for early this week. Now we're going to be going and get started with the SPC's outlook. We got 3 areas of slight risks for today. Got one area in Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. Another one in Nebraska and Colorado. And got another one out east in New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, even Virginia. There. Main threats, there's a tornado threat in Nebraska to Colorado. Wind is pretty much for everybody, except mostly for everybody for hail, except for Mississippi. Now, let's look into here. We'll be starting off with the NAM, and it wants to update, but we're looking at 6Z here. So this is, the day I'm really focused on is Wednesday. Wednesday is looking to be a pretty good setup for severe weather for multiple states. So here you go. You got a trough trying to develop here, but as it pushes off to the east, it really starts to get going. As you can tell here, it really starts to kick in as a pretty nice trough that goes out in the Ohio Valley back into Texas. So really the severe weather risk is anywhere in this jet stream. Well, not inside, but kind of in front of it for the most part. Seems like it really gets good going. We can have a pretty good damaging wind threat taking place in this area, just seeing how it's just kind of like in a straight line. It's probably got some pretty good damaging winds with it. Vorticity, however, so here's your vorticity. So we got pretty good vorticity stretching from the Ohio Valley and Midwest. Doesn't really show up much in Arkansas, but it comes back up in Texas. There. I was looking into dew points here. Your dew point is going to be pretty favorable for everybody. 70s, really favorable. Let's look into Cape. Cape, it's going to be pretty favorable for everybody. You can see here, we got some decent values up here in the Ohio Valley. Stretches back down into Texas. It's really these areas here to watch for potential severe weather. Let's look at this Cape Shear from the NAM. A little bit more favorable. You got pretty good values in the Ohio Valley again, stretches back into Texas. Let's look into your strength index. So your strength index, look at to be maybe pretty well, not so very favorable up north here. But this is 6Z, and it's about to update to 12Z. So we will see. The NAM is just not really showing too much of an event at this time. Low level lap rates. So here's low level lap rates. Pretty favorable for everybody. So you should not have much of an issue for that if you're going to be chasing for severe weather. What I've seen mid-level lap rates, it could be questionable. You really need over 7. It's pretty favorable for severe weather back at Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, but not so much for the Ohio Valley. I mean, there is some areas that's showing at 7, but it's not good enough. Let's look into EHI values here. It's favorable for some. Let's look at helicity here. So your helicity is looking to be pretty high in Indiana with over 300, which is a lot. So it shows you makes the winds go vertical instead of horizontal. So we can have that happening. Basically, it increases tornado threat. It's really all it does. It just really does increase tornado threat. They're up in Indiana, in Kentucky, in Illinois, in Tennessee. Now the supercell composite, bringing shear and wind speed all together, giving it pretty good values here in Western Kentucky, in Western Tennessee. Even saw a 15 there. So you could. This kind of gives you this is kind of a little bit kind of concerning event here. Some pretty good ingredients in place here. So we got enough shear in place for tornadoes to potentially develop. You can see the potential hazard type is a tornado. The Cape is good as well. Your equinox is way up in the atmosphere. Severe hail threat is there. Stretches all the way back into Texas. We'll take a look into that as well really quickly. See, they tend to have more Cape than up north. So this is why you're seeing nearly 6,000 Cape. They tend to get a lot of Cape. Tornado threat is still there, so they still have the same threat, even though they have very high Cape values. Then that starts to push off to the east. Could have severe weather potential on Thursday. That's a possibility for portions of the south there. Significant tornado parameters. Not much for the plains on day 2. Showing some values of 5, 7. Ooh, out in western Kentucky, in southern Illinois, and western Tennessee. So the name is given the bullseye for that area, and it pushes off to the east. So really the best tornado threat the name's giving it is Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and maybe even Mississippi. It's what the name's going to give the bullseye at. Let's look into the Euro here. Now, I do not have like Cape, all that stuff. I just got precipitation. But I can tell what's severe and what is not. So let's go straight into Tuesday here. There's a chance of severe weather back in the plains here. It's giving a chance of severe weather up in Kansas. But it really does go when it's in western Oklahoma. It's really in western Oklahoma. It's got the best chance for severe weather right now. I'm giving it a slight risk, which I'll show you guys in a moment here. Not much of seeing of a tornado threat, though. But I'll go ahead and give my forecast here for day 2 before I forget. So dew points are really good. Cape is good. Helicity is very good. Same for lifted index, and wind shear and wind speed are good as well. Damage winds and large hail will lead the primary threats. Tornadoes is a possibility. I'm giving it a margin of risk on that one. Confidence is 70%. Really, it's just only at western Oklahoma there. Now let's move on eastward. Now the Euro is kind of showing a little bit of a different story. I'll say this here will be more of a derecho event here, because whenever I take a look at it, it's just kind of continue, and it's not showing much of any development in Arkansas that much during the day. Widespread severe weather possibly in Missouri and Illinois, though. So look, going into 5 a.m., severe weather does continue, actually, stretching from Indiana back for Kentucky, and even Tennessee as well. So this could be an overnight threat for some people. And where I'm seeing is how this trough is going in, how it's strong it is, bringing in some really good winds into the area. You can see pretty good blowing segments here, potential squall line, and that can really increase the damage and wind threat there. So that's all I got from the Euro. Now let's move into the GFS. GFS should be better than it was, so we can trust this more. So here's what's going to give out for tomorrow. So decent K values, a little over 2,000 will be great. Cape and shear, we do have some of that. Keep in mind, you just see over 1,000. We're going to get some tornado potential or severe weather. We do have some slivers of 20s. You really need to be over 20 to get some tornado potential or severe weather, which we do have some of that there. Sliding in could be an issue back in Texas. Lifting index definitely there. In Helicity, we got quite a bit of that. Let's move on eastward. Let's go ahead and go into Wednesday here. Now, that was actually the HRRR model. Now let's move to the GFS. Now, Helicity values is actually favorable for pretty much everybody that has a chance of severe weather. That's extending from Indiana and Ohio all the way back down into Texas. So nobody should not have much of a problem with Helicity just from the GFS, except for Arkansas. Portions of Arkansas could see not much Helicity. Lifting index, everybody should not have an issue. It's pretty favorable. Sign in, there's some around, but it's not enough to not create thunderstorm activity. Now, the wind shear here is actually high, a little bit high in Indiana, Illinois, and Kentucky. Back in St. Louis there, that's behind the severe weather stuff here. As you can see here, the strong winds are right now just about over St. Louis. That could be your low pressure there, just by looking at that there, your front. Cape and shear values quite a bit for Missouri and Arkansas back into Texas. We do have some slivers of thousands in Kentucky and Indiana. So pretty much almost everybody is pretty favorable. Cape, pretty favorable for everybody. So overall, what models do agree on is best chance for tornado threat. Only for tornado threat, it's likely to be states like Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee, maybe even Arkansas. We're going to have to wait and see later on. Because later on, when these storms here start to gather together, we may have supercells in front of it, and the squall line may be able to catch up enough to catch him, possibly. And we can have more of a damage and wind threat than we have any of the others. But the supercell threat is still there, so yeah. So here's my forecasting here. I got a slight risk at a 15%. I'll make a map probably tomorrow, because there is still some uncertainties here. Let's see here. Dew points, Cape, Helicity, lift index, wind speed are very good. Wind shear is good as well. Damage and winds, large hail, and tornadoes are all maxed out at slight. My forecast is slight risk at 15%, and confidence on this is at 70%. So if I would make this a map of tomorrow, I may, if this still does continue, and we may get this upgrade to enhanced risk, and that will most likely be up north, where there's best chance for tornado threat, even some damage winds is there, and even large hail. So yeah, this is all good for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this severe weather forecast. Oh yeah, and hold on, I forgot to show you guys something. Let's see here. Yeah, did I show you guys here? I'll go over it again. I forgot to show y'all the SPC here. So the SPC's got a slight risk for the majority of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. I'm fine with that. Marginal risk out in the Mid-Atlantic. Here's day 3. This is the potential big-time severe weather day. They've got a slight risk from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, up into Missouri. Now, by reading in the paragraph, they said it may get extended into Illinois and Indiana, which I would agree with that there as well. If you're in a marginal risk, you still have a chance for severe weather. You may get extended into a slight risk later on. But we do have a chance of severe weather on day 5 up in Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, and Iowa. Other days are predictably too low. That will have to be later on. So yeah, this is all I've got for you guys today. If you do like this video, hit that like button. If you really like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell notification you'll never miss an upload. If you've got any questions about the severe weather event, go ahead and put in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.